All right, so now is time to make. Let's back this up. To make our. Come on, spacebar. Come on. Oh, you know why? Because I think we're on. Yeah, that's why. Okay, it's time to make the panels work. Okay, so what we did is that we have basically that play button. It's playing it. This whole symbol is moving, but inside of that symbol, we've nested them. Are the individual panels. So I'm going to double click on this. Oh, we locked it, so I got to unlock it. Double click on that panel, and then you'll see all panels, and we can see all the individual ones here, right? So I can click on them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on the first one and then work my way from the first one to the last one. But you're going to see kind of the same process all the way through. So I'm going to double click on this panel, and you can see what we made, right? So I just have this, it just continually plays right now. But we're going to do this, it's going to be kind of the same what we did before. I'm going to make it stop here and then play when you click on this dude, okay? So let's go ahead and set that up first. I need to make, instead of making a button that says click, we're going to make him the button, okay? Because I just think this will be more interesting, more interactive. So normally, if you see an interactive application or something your kids are playing, they don't click on things that literally are buttons. It's kind of boring. Instead, the little figures will be buttons, or you can click on a door and the door opens and there's something in the door or something like that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make him the button, all right? So zoom in here. So we have this cone, and you can see right now he is just a movie clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to grab that movie clip and make that movie clip a button. So then a button will be created, and this symbol that is currently here will be inside of it. Okay, so with it selected, I'm just going to go to Modify, Convert to Symbol. And again, we're going to choose Button, and I'm just going to call this the Panel 01 underscore BTN, because it's just the first panel button. Okay, boom. Okay, now you'll see that this is indeed a button. And I'm going to double click on it. And again, we're going to have the over, but you can see that initial movie clip, that cone sitting, is right here. And now I need to do the over and down. I'm just going to do an over because I don't really care when you click on it. That doesn't really change anything. So what we're going to do for the over, so when you hover over it, go ahead and hit F7, or you right click and insert blank keyframe. Right there, okay? And then in the library, underneath the panel 01 folder, I have a thing that says reaching. So I'm going to take this reaching and drop that in there. So when you hover over it, it's going to be this instead of this. And I placed that freaking perfectly. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, so anyway, more than likely, you're not as amazing as me. So if you click on the onion skinning here, that'll help you place where it's got to go. So I'm just like, it needs to go here, and then you can just use your arrow keys, or you can just be amazing, like I am. Once you're done with it, turn it off because it really makes it slow. So we're just going to do an over that looks like that. So basically, when you hover over it, it's going to look like he's reaching out, and then I'm not going to bother doing the down because as soon as you hit down, it's just going to do the next thing anyway. So I mean, I didn't make any other things for it, so I don't really care that much. Really, the other down, it probably would be this one. I'd probably put there, but that's the next frame anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to leave it like that. I'm going to click back to go back up to panel 1, so we're not in the button. And now we have all the things we need in order to make this work. So we're just going to go ahead and add the code, okay? So before we do that, though, I need to take this guy and just give it a name. So we're just going to call this panel 01 button, okay? Like that. So just so that when we make we apply the JavaScript, it will be better. So I'm gonna hit F9, or you go to Window Actions, and then I'm gonna hit the little code snippet. Okay, and we're gonna open up HTML5 Canvas, timeline navigation. There we go. Make sure you're on the first frame. I'm just gonna click on it right here. Make sure I got the first frame selected, and we're going to stop. I'm not gonna bother getting rid of the stuff this time because I don't want to waste time. And then the other thing I need to do is this guy. I want this to be my button that plays. So with that selected, make sure you select, again, that button, which is the cone guy, and we're going to go click to go to frame and play. Now this one, we wouldn't have to worry about making it just straight up play. We could just put in 2 here, but like this, because it's only ever going to go to that. This one button only ever does go to frame 2. Or we could just hit play, either way. I would like to just do play. So we're going to do play. Oops, like that. So this dot play. And I'm going to preview it real quick just so you see what it does, and then we'll go to the next one. Reminder, it's Control Enter or Command Enter in order to do the preview. I think I totally forgot to mention that. You could also go to Test Movie. I forget. I'll show you after. But you can see, look, nothing's happening. My next button still all works fine, right? All these are all still playing, but this one's not. But you can see when I hover over, he reaches, and when I click on him, the car goes by, and he's sad. Although I don't, if you really think about it, this makes no sense. What does he want to get hit by the car? I don't know. Not a smart man. Okay, so anyway, we're going to call that good. Okay, and that's basically what we're going to do for the rest of it. So that one's done. So we're just going to back up to all panels. I'm going to go over to my, this one. I'm going to double click on that. So I'm in panel 2 now. All right. I know I got like a lot of stuff in the way, so I apologize for that. Okay. And basically the same thing. So first I'm going to do is I need to make this a button. Right now it's just this one graphic. So I'm just going to select it and just do modify convert to symbol. And we'll just call this the panel 02 underscore BTN for button. And I will double click on it. And there you can see it right there. And that's all nice. Yeah, so I have it here. You can see this is what it looks like. Now, this is a little bit different because I don't have another picture for like when you're hovering over, and I didn't make any animations or anything either. So I'm going to do with this one is actually just at when you hover over it, that an outline will appear. Okay, just so that you want to have a hover so that way they know that it's a button. Otherwise, it'd be hard. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this guy up. So now I'm inside of its symbol, which is the picture. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to back up a little bit. I can't see the stupid drawing. So I'm inside of that symbol. I'm just going to grab the graphic that's in there and just hit Control-C or Command-C if you're on a Mac. I'm going to back up to the button. Okay. So basically I went into the graphic that's on frame 1. It just double-clicked on it. I selected Control-C to copy, backed up to the button. So we're back in the this panel 2 button. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit F7 or insert blank keyframe, and we're going to do Control-Shift-V. The difference between Control-V and Control-Shift-V is this. If I do Control-V, it's going to paste it in the center of my screen. But if you do Control-Shift-V, it's paste in place, which means it'll paste it where it originally was. And I believe that works in Photoshop and stuff as well, so it's kind of a useful hotkey. Okay, so now we have the drawing here, and because it's the drawing, I can add the outline. Originally, what I tried to do was these, where are you? Come on. The color effects, I was going to make it lighter and darker, but for whatever reason, I think it must be something that just doesn't work inside of Canvas. I'm sure it works inside of ActionScript, but it doesn't function. It'll function on the most top level, but not underneath. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so we're just working on the button, so I'm going to go on the over, which you can see is just the picture here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to, underneath this tool here, you'll see the ink bottle tool. And what that does is it allows you to change the color of the outline or to add an outline. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and add black. And I'm going to make it pretty thick. Let's try 6 maybe. And if I click in the middle, it's going to do all of the shape wash. Okay, which is not what I want. I want just this outline. So I'm going to click here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, and we're good. Now we got the whole outline. And I'm looking at that and it's still not thick enough, so I'm just going to switch to V and double click. I'm just switching to the select tool, and I'm just going to make the stroke thicker. So I'm just going to drag this guy up. Just wanted to make it really obvious. So now when you hover over it, it's going to, looks like it moved it a little bit too. Whatever, doesn't matter. When you hover over it, it's going to basically do that line, okay? And you can do whatever you want for that. If you want to do something different, you can do a totally different up. I'm just showing you an option, okay? So that's good. So basically, regular is this, and up is this. So I'm just going to back up to the panel now. So now we're back into panel 2. And now that's good. And this button needs a code, or needs an instance name. So we're going to call this panel 02 button, okay? Good, so now that's that. We got all the stuff, so this now will function as when you hover over it, it will do what it needs to. And what we're going to do now is basically apply the code. So make sure you go to frame 1. Let's click on frame 1 here. And we want to stop at this frame, right? We don't want to do anything yet. And then I want that when I click on this guy, I want it to play. So I'm going to select him. and double click, go to frame and play. And we're just going to remove all this stuff and just put play instead and delete that. And now this one is done. Okay, so you can see that should work as well. Good. So that one is now done too. And go ahead and test it. Oh yeah, so you just go to Window. I'm sorry. Where are you? Oh, Control. Sorry. Test movie. So just do test. Okay. So now I'm going to back up till I'm in all panels. I just double click, or you can click on these things here, and I'm just going to move over, and now I'm going to work on this panel here. So I'm going to double click on this one. Now this one I'm going to do a little bit differently. I mean, it's kind of the same, but I'm just going to change the button. Instead of making him the button, I feel like this is the action that needs to be clicked on. I'm going to make the baby the button, okay? So again, I'm going to select the baby here, and we're just going to go ahead and convert it to a symbol. I'm just going to hit F8, and I'm just going to make sure that it's a button, and we'll just call this panel 0, oops, I did it uppercase, panel 03 underscore BTN. Now, one of the things you might want to do is, I don't know how you know to click on these other buttons, right? So you could have like a little arrow that says, click me, right? Maybe even just on the first one so they get the idea that you click on things. So this is not super great, but anyway, I feel like it's kind of a cheat to do that because you're telling them what to do instead of showing them what to do, which is not what you want to do. Anyway, so now this is a button. So now when I, let's go ahead and give it a button name too, just get that done. So we'll call it panel 03 button. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and double click on it. And now you'll see we have the up and the over and the down, right? So kind of like what we did before. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit F6 here. Okay. So I'm just duplicating that symbol, this baby sit symbol. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside of an animation. So to do that, I'm just going to hit F8. And we're going to say movie clip. And I'll just say baby bounce underscore MC. Okay. So now when it's on this one, it's just this picture. And when it's on this one, it's going to be that baby bounce MC, which basically is this. And I'm just going to make it take, we'll say 10 seconds. I'm going to go to here because this just has that same symbol inside of it. And I'm just going to hit F5 to insert frame. I'm going to right click and go create motion tween. And then I want it to end on where it starts so that it loops. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the end and hit F6 to insert a keyframe. And then we need it to go up and down. So we'll go here, and I'm just going to select it and hit Q. I'm going to zoom in here, Control plus, and I need it to pivot from the base. So I'm just going to pull this pivot down here, so it pivots from here. And we're just going to make it go up. So I'm going to go like this, just kind of stretch it. You want to maintain volume, so we squeeze as well. So he's going to go whoop, and then I'm going to want him to go down. And then we're going to squash it. So he goes whoop, and then we're going to have it go overcompensate. So we're going to stretch a little bit. I don't know if that's too much. Is that like, yeah, it's like more than the original. So let's pull that back down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So now if you enter, it's just squishing. It's just going to go wonk, 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 wonk. Okay. So now what that means is that's an animation that's inside of the button. So when you hover over it, it's actually going to play that animation. And that's what I was saying. Like, you can put whatever you want into those different things. It's not like it has to be a graphic. It could literally be anything. So in this case, I did an animation. I've done it before where you hover over it, and then inside, you put a movie clip and you have an audio clip. So you hover over it, it goes, I'm a baby or something. You know what I mean? And then that would be done. Okay. So that's good. Now we got the button done. I'm going to go back up to panel 3, and it's the same thing we did before. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first frame. Go to my inspector here, or code snippets, and double click on stop. Hopefully, did that work? I don't think it did. There it goes. Okay. And then we're going to select the baby. And same thing. I'm going to click to go to frame and play. And then we're just going to go ahead and change this out. Go to play. Okay. And that should be it. Okay. So Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna preview this, and then we'll watch it, and it should be good. And if it isn't, we'll fix it. All right, I went ahead and put my volume back up so you can see what was it called. So you can even do a thing like where you click on this and it plays the audio. You know what I mean? Or maybe hover over it or something. You could have like a little animation that like a bouncing ball. So if it's a kid, they can read it. I've seen. It's funny because right now with the online virtual education, my kids are doing that, and I just see all these things, and it's totally the things that we're doing. Anyway, so you can see I actually made him blink too. See, watch. Give him a second. He's gonna blink. There he goes. But see, hover over it. If I click on him, the card goes around. He's sad. Click on the next thing. You see it's like this. If I hover over, right, you can see it's doing the dark thing there. If I click,
why does everybody avoid me?
he's sad.
Why does everybody avoid me?
Look at you talk like that. Okay, so next one. Oh no, there's a baby. And when I hover over it, see it plays that animation instead. It doesn't highlight it, it does that. So, and then when I click on him, this guy's going to jump in front. This card's going to go by. And there you go. Voila! And if you click next, it just starts from the beginning again. And that's it. Ta-da! But you see, it's relatively simple. All we're literally doing is just stopping. We're telling it to stop on specific frames, and we just have a play button. And you could do, I mean, we did a really kind of simple thing here, but I mean, you could really go into depth with that and do like really cool, interesting things. So this week, obviously, you're going to complete this, but I want you to be thinking about what you want to do. It has to be at least 3 panels, and it should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can tell like a story. So here you can kind of tell a story, right? There's a moral to it. You can see kind of character progression, maybe, kind of. But it doesn't have to do that. It could be just one gag. Guy walks up, gets punched in the face. You know, I don't care. But whatever you want it to be. And you could do, I try to keep the animation stuff a lot more simple. Like I was going to have him like reaching out and like, I think in the example I showed before, he used to have like a tear and he would wipe it and stuff. But I didn't want to like take all that time because I added this lip sync part, which
why
obviously
does everybody avoid me?
You know, it's a bit more. So, you don't even have to do lip sync on yours. I just wanted to show you how to do it. You don't have to use the puppet. I just want you to have the 3 panels and that you click, and so you can see that it's interactive. Okay. Obviously, that's not this week. That's next week. But I want you to be thinking about what you would want to make. Okay. So hopefully you got what this is. If you run into any issues, as per usual, just go ahead and let me know, and I will help you to the best of my abilities. All right. So good luck, guys.